questions. They're kind of similar. Infamous truth teller. Hashtag KJB. Will all the false narratives on social media affect jury/trial? That's something I'm sure that you could speak to for a while. And then M. Palmer. Hashtag KJB lawyer. What does the next 5 months look like for the public to find out what's going on in the case? I'll answer this one first, and then we'll go back to the infamous truth teller comment. That falls on us as journalists now to continue to cover the story as new information is presented, and really as journalists find out more information as they work their sources, file requests for documents, talk to people, and making sure that they are honed in on the story. I will say the News Nation has done a really great job as far as staying on this story, but really a lot of that will come down to media coverage, and of course that's something that we'll be focused on here. A lot of other cases, really, I'm really super honed in on Anna Walsh right now, what's going on in Massachusetts. There's so many other cases that we are covering. This one joins many, many others that we're going to stay on top of, but that really falls on us. As far as the previous comment, Peter, will all the false narratives on social media affect jury/trial? That's something you could answer better than I could.
Yeah, when you say us, I mean you and your journalist people, not me. I'm not a journalist, just a lawyer. So yeah, I mean, I think the social media narratives always are going to be important in today's day and age, and I think they could really affect whether or not we're going to have cameras in the courtroom, whether or not we're going to have live streams. This stuff, whether you believe it or not, everyone in the comments, everybody watching these streams, you can have an effect on that. We have seen it in court orders where judges discuss how people are talking about the defendant's facial expressions or their makeup or what they're wearing, and therefore we need to pull the cameras because in the interest of justice, we've got to make sure we have a fair trial here. So they can absolutely affect cameras in the courtroom. They can affect what potential jurors are listening to, what potential jurors are watching. These jurors are going to be asked those questions. What have you seen? What have you heard? What have you read? That may already give you a lean towards the prosecution or towards the defense in this case. So it's going to have an effect. It's going to be important, which is why anybody that's talking about this case on social media with your friends, publicly, privately, need to make sure we keep an open mind, presume him innocent at this point, discuss what we think about the case, discuss what we think may happen. You can speculate a little bit, but I think it's really important for us to remember all of that and remember how this can affect somebody's constitutional rights, somebody's freedom, justice for victims. We need to make sure that we all as the public can affect that. So let's make sure we understand that as we go forward talking about this case. Really important reminder, given where things stand presently. And I always remind people, innocent until proven guilty. It's so important given how social media just can kind of run wild these days. And also too, there's so much misinformation out there. That's going to bring me to my very regular, our moderators, I'm sure know, or frequent viewers know, I'm always telling people to be mindful of the misinformation landmines that exist on social media. That's one of the reasons why I'm starting to do more stuff on TikTok, to tell you the truth.
We as YouTube creators, subscribers, viewers, along with members to any of the true crime community channels, need to hold one another accountable for conspiracy and rabbit hole theories. Most importantly, the doxing of victims, neighbors, family members, and survivors. We as YouTube creators, subscribers, viewers, and truly be a voice and advocate for the right reasons and not our own selfish intentions. Speak up. If you see something, say something. Write a comment in a video of any creator that might be voicing a false narrative or victim blaming, victim shaming, attacking or harassing these families, friends, neighbors, and places of work. We all should do what's morally and ethical, and truly be a voice and advocate.
Well, there you go, folks. Jumping to these conclusions or chasing these wild theories appears to be about being the first to share something that nobody else knew or that nobody else had the wisdom not to share. It must be all about the views. I mean, heck, who doesn't want views on their videos? But integrity is more important than the views. You know, I did a simple search on YouTube during my flight to see who was running with the story. I was shocked at the number of videos that have gone out, adding fuel to the fire. At first, I wanted to show my computer screen to highlight this, and then I decided, I'm going to just leave it up to you to go out and search for social media creators who jumped the gun. The reminder's simple, folks. If the information isn't corroborated through official sources, perhaps it should stay unannounced. This week, 22 different local and national news outlets joined the forces, requesting that Idaho officials narrow the scope of this gag order that's been in place on the case. Now, if you recall earlier this month, the county magistrate barred attorneys, law enforcement officials, and officials involved in the case from discussing it with anybody. On Thursday, she expanded the prohibition to include all attorneys representing the survivors, witnesses, and the victims' families. I mean, I don't know how they can do this, but apparently you can. And you know what? And it might be frustrating to you and frankly to all of us because we want more information. But do we want it so badly that we're willing to have it potentially injure the state's criminal case? I mean, do we want it so badly that it makes it impossible for Kohberger to get a fair trial? Some of you might be arguing yes, but the truth of the matter is, if he doesn't get a fair trial, the case is at risk of being lost. It was best defended by the judge who said, quote, to preserve the right of a fair trial,
Profiling Evil
some
for being an
curtailment
important
of
voice for the
dissemination of
victims in
information is
Moscow,
necessary
Idaho.
And authorized
Advocating
under
for the
law,
families of
close
the
quote.
4 lives that were
So what are
tragically
your
lost way
thoughts on
too
this
soon,
one, folks?
the survivors,
Has the true
for the
crime
integrity of
community
this
gone
case,
too
and
far
the
in
families
their
of the
quest to
4
be the
victims
first to
along with the
report?
survivors and their families are able to obtain justice as well as some type. Thank you.
If you would like to donate to my channel, the link will be in the description below.